y'all? I'm back. In this video, I want to talk about Meek Mill. As of late, he hasn't been doing too much rapping, but he's still been around. He's still popping up in pictures. He's at Diddy's, all of Diddy's parties seem like, don't it? Seem like he had all Diddy's parties. You would think he's Diddy's little puppet, little assistant, or like his pet. His pet, for real. But the reason why I want to talk about Meek Mill is because he was one of the first guys I saw with handlers. White handlers. And when I say white handlers, don't confuse me. Don't get it twisted. I'm not racist. If you knew the people I know, they would tell you like Duran is the coolest / realest dude you can meet. It don't have nothing to do with race. It's just all has a lot to do with truth and what makes sense to him. But I've noticed a pattern with these rappers over the years, especially Meek Mill. Or it started off with Meek Mill. When he got out of prison, he had a lot of white handlers around him. And it seems like, not that it's important now, but it seemed like his street credibility disappeared. It was eliminated. And so after he got out, it just seemed like he's been doing puppet stuff. You know, he was bunny hopping for his white handlers. He's hanging around Diddy, just, you know, it looked like he's drained, like they sucking the life out of him. You know, it's like they just using him up until they don't need him anymore. But Meek Mill was the first one. I feel like he was the genesis of the handlers of rappers. And after Meek Mill's, I started seeing more rappers. And it all looks the same to me. It all looks the same in how they act. They're smiling a whole lot. They're extra goofy, silly, laughing a lot. What's the rapper from New York, from Brooklyn? Hot nigga, Bobby Smurda. Handlers. He got handlers. Kodak Black. Handlers. He got handlers. This is someone that's not a rapper, but a man that got a grip of handlers. Damar Hamlin, the one that passed away on the field momentarily before they revived him, allegedly, supposedly. Remember, this is all for entertainment and educational purposes only. Everything I say in this video is allegedly. Damar Hamlin, he allegedly has handlers too. Boosie. Gucci Mane too now. When he got out, he had a lot of handlers too. And he still got handlers. As a matter of fact, some of us, we already feel like allegedly he's been cloned. He was like one of the first clones. He was like the first rapper that made me realize, or made me think, like, okay, maybe they really are cloning rappers or cloning people, because this is not Gucci Mane right here. And everybody knew that. White folks knew that wasn't Gucci Mane. Hispanics knew that wasn't Gucci Mane. But the most recent, Boosie Badass. Soon as this goofy dude get out, he pop up at the BET Awards. He claimed that's his attorneys or whatever. No, I think that's his handlers. You got a remote control on him or something. They want to make sure that he doesn't get out of pocket. They want to make sure that there's no malfunctions or glitches in this guy. So he's on the MK Ultra or something. But Meek Mills was the first one I saw who had handlers, and I feel like Meek Mills allegedly is cloned out too, or MK Ultra'd out too, because man, that man ain't been the same yet since. I ain't seen much talks from him. I ain't seen hardly any interviews. It's like, what the hell is Meek Mills doing at this point in his career? If he even has a career anymore. It seems like he's just an industry slave now. Is Meek Mills an industry slave now? Are they just placing him in different places? What the hell is going on with Meek Mills? But ever since Meek Mills, it's been a trend, a pattern of rappers getting locked up or getting in some weird accident, some freak accident or something, like Kevin Hart. That accident he got in, that looked fatal. Like you seen that drop top? Or I don't know if it was drop top. Yeah, I think it was drop top, but yeah. Man, there's no way he should have survived that. There is no possible way this man should have survived that accident. But ever since that accident, Kevin Hart has had a lot of handlers too now. Kevin Hart has had a lot of handlers too. So, I get really, really suspicious when I see rappers or entertainers who have had some type of a situation happen to them, whether it's an accident, they got incarcerated, but prior to whatever the event that happened, they were kind of already, there was a lot of talks about them, or they were kind of being targeted by the media, or whatever the case may be. It seems like in the aftermath of something happening to them, all of a sudden they're coming out smiling and Boosie, this Negro. Oh man, that man ain't never been that goofy. Now he got his moments when he acts silly and he be all animated, but all that extra smiling he was doing and all this old extra stuff, acting a damn fool in the BET Awards in his own little section. It's like they didn't even have him around the rest of the people. From what it looked like they had him in his own little section with his handlers just around him. Everybody else was a little distance away, and he was putting on a show for them while they couldn't really be next to him. You know, now before and after, that was a different story, but like during the awards, that Negro, it was like you would have thought he was Pinocchio. Just, But Meek Mills was the first one I saw. It could have been many guys before him, but he was the first one I noticed to where I was like, But I think Gucci Mane was, he probably had handlers before Meek Mills. But Meek Mills was the first one I noticed to where it made me feel like, damn, they either cloning or they are mind controlling these rappers. Because these dudes, before they get incarcerated or before some type of event happens, they gangster. They serious. They got all these goons around them, and then, but especially the ones that get locked up. As soon as they get out, they got a whole bunch of handlers around them. Now I get it. Some of y'all will say, nigga, he can't have all these goons and the same people around him in the streets, man. You know, he gonna get locked up again. He can't be around felons and all that stuff. Right. But when your whole entourage is white boys, that's suspect to me. You can have a mix of them, a cluster, some blacks, some Mexicans, some Asians, some whites, but all whites pretty much. And they're not even young, they're like older. It's like you would think they had a device that was controlling their actions and their behavior. But I'm wondering if Meek Mills is an industry slave. If they have him under their finger and they're just floating him around. Probably how the same thing with Jamie Foxx right now. Jamie Foxx got handlers. If y'all notice, he got a whole right now. Ever since this other Jamie Foxx, this new Jamie Foxx came around without the head tattoo, with the vanished head tattoo. The Jamie Foxx without the tattoo on the back of his head has a lot of handlers around him. And he's acting, the behavior is suspicious. It's not much talk from him. He ain't said a word yet. He ain't addressed nothing. Did an interview. Hadn't went live. Nothing. We're talking about Jamie Foxx now. Jamie Foxx is always in the limelight. Always got to be in the camera, entertaining and putting on a show. So everybody knows. Of all races, they all know something's off about this Jamie Foxx character. Everybody knows that there's some suspicion around Jamie Foxx. And this don't have nothing to do with the head tattoo, because a lot of people haven't been paying attention to the tattoo. I noticed the tattoo. I was the first one that noticed that tattoo was missing. And I was the first one that made a video about Jamie Foxx's head tattoo missing, or that I noticed that the tattoo was missing. And then a week later, all of a sudden he is hospitalized. But I don't know, man. They making me a believer. Allegedly, I believe these guys are being replaced. All of these rappers and these industry people, they're being replaced. Little by little. Not everyone, not all of them now, but certain ones. It's certain, you could just tell. It's certain, the ones that's kind of off. Even, I don't know. I love Weezy, man. He the GOAT of his era, but there's something weird about Weezy too. I ain't gonna lie, dog. I got love for Weezy, man. But you know what? He is a real. I remember when I saw him on the Pivot, and I was looking at him, I was like, man, why the nigga look like that, dog? Not to be judging men, but if he was a real life character, this nigga is Kermit the Frog, dog. This nigga Lil Wayne is a real life Kermit the Frog, bro. And Miss Piggy, I'll tell you who the real life Miss Piggy is. Damn, I don't even know that lady's name. Shoot. Okay. I'm gonna have to mention who she is in another video. She's an actress. She's a comedian and an actress. I just can't think of any of the movies or shows she's been in. She's a very animated, cute, fat lady with dimples. She got dimples on both sides. I would say she's the real life Miss Piggy. But if Lil Wayne, aka Kermit the Frog, got with her, that would be a match made in heaven. Kermit the Frog with that one lady. Or excuse me, Weezy with that one lady, man. That would be Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy. In human form. But anyway, Weezy, I feel like he got handlers too. I hope I'm wrong. But it's just something kind of off about him too. But it's more the look of him. Compared to how Weezy looked back in the day. I know he's gotten a lot of extra tattoos and stuff, but I know he's had some health issues, but I don't know. But Meek Mills, y'all. Keep an eye on Meek Mills. Something's up with Meek Mills. Something's a little off about him. There's a lot that's off about this guy. But y'all take it easy, man. Don't trust these industry people, man. It's all a shit show. We're just enjoying the shit show. And we're observing and reporting. Over and out.